40 days. And I was working with one of my clients on our program call the other day on Monday, and we were talking about ramping up the way that they were spending some advertising money in order to increase their sales. Because fundamentally, if we are spending money at the front end, we want to make sure that we're getting some sort of return on investment and out the back end. And so we're having a look at what were the systems in place, and then what were the things we needed to be measuring to make sure that they got the right outcome. So this particular client works in a service industry where they have a program that they run with people to really work with them on leveling up the way that they're doing their content creation. And they do a really great job of it. And so they've built out this process that they can help people walk them through. And so they were wanting to increase the number of clients that they have. And the way that they had to think about that was, what were the systems in place to do that? So for them, they have a series of calls that they do, 2 calls. And pre that, they have a download that people can get. So people were able to get a free download first. And then they were invited to book a first call to have a look at potentially how these people might be able to help them. And then they were invited to book a second call where they mapped out a bit more of a detailed plan, which is where they would convert them into a customer. And so we needed to look at what were the numbers that needed to go along with it. So we're building out a very clear dashboard that included both the result that these clients wanted and the 1, 2, 3 levers that they needed to pull in order to get that result. And so they were going back, if one sale took 2 of these second stage calls and 4 of these first stage calls, and then they needed 20 of the downloads of the email lead, the lead magnet that they sent out, then they could now start to figure out how much they're willing to spend to get one person in. And so the way that we start to think about systems with my clients is we go, what are all the systems? How do they fit together? And then how do we start to track and measure what's going on with those systems so that we can make good decisions in our business? We can, rather than feel the numbers, we know exactly what's going on. We can measure the data and we can say, okay, well, we're willing to spend $10 or $100 or $1,000 to acquire a lead, because we know that one lead generates this many dollars in sales, or 10 leads generates this many dollars in sales. And so this is how our systems start to fit together. So once we'd finished building out this beautiful dashboard for their sales process, what we call the money makers, they were able to go away and make some really good decisions with their advertising partner who's building out the front end of that with Google ads or Facebook ads. They're able to go away and make good decisions and know that over time they can track that information and get really good outcomes for them in their business. Super exciting, super clear, and not complicated, and doesn't have to wait for the accountant to do the